For this trip, our adventure started here in Sault Ste. Marie, where the guys and I arrived last night in the rig. But this morning, we're headed to Searchmount to a staging area there to unload the buggies and hit the trail to Halfway Haven. Our first riding stop will be for a saddlebag overnight stay at Halfway Haven, followed by the ride into Wawa the next day. Then a couple more days of playing around before we ride back here to Searchmount. Plus, for this trip, we've also got a couple of special guests along for the ride. Dave Morin and his buddy Dave Tessier are riding with us. Dave was the winner of the OSM Polaris Ride Command Sweepstakes. This contest pulled together Polaris Snowmobiles, Ontario Tourism, and the Algoma region for an all-in trip to ride Polaris sleds equipped with Ride Command technology. The Algoma region was the first one to partner into the contest, which was key because we knew the trails up in this part of Ontario are the type of trails you'd want to ride as a contest winner. Plus, this is one of our favorite places to head to for a week of riding.
We've been around for, we're probably one of the original clubs in the province 52 years ago. I think in 1966 we were formed and involved with the forming of the OFSC the year after. So, you know, we've been in existence for a long time, since the early to mid 70s when this new concept came out about grooming trails. So we started developing trails then. You know, we've interconnected with, throughout our district, throughout the province, which is key, important. So, we've come a long ways. We're proud of the trail system that we have here, and we hope to keep it for a long time in the future.
The terrain around here is definitely not flat. You're going to find a variation of everything. There are no rail beds to ride. You cross tracks, you don't ride them here.
It's unlike probably most places in Southern Ontario or even Michigan. The topography, the scenic trails, the versatile trails. Some areas you'll get into some flat areas where you can make some good time. There's other areas where it'll be up twisty, up mountains. So our northern route that goes out of Searchmount, obviously you can come right out of the Sioux, but going out of Searchmount up to Halfway, and then Halfway, obviously you can now either head over towards Chapleau or continue on to Wawa, Dubreuil, continue on. That's a really big draw actually for us, for not even, from guys from Southern Ontario, but even for more so because we're sitting on the U.S. border here. We have a lot of interest from Americans coming up this way. It's something different. If you ride in Michigan, upper Michigan, there's a lot of rail beds. They follow, they come up here. They can't believe what we got. They keep it, they say it's the best kept secret because, it's much different. They love the wilderness that, they're running. And again, it's not like what they're typically used to down south of the border.
The size of our trail system, we're running about 600, somewhere around 600 kilometers of trail on our own. We do, I think it's 570, but to be exact, I think it's closer to 600 kilometers. My groomers that run on their long runs run about 79 miles one way. So it's quite a run for our groomer operators.
So our club faces a lot of challenges on these northern routes. The long hauls between when that groomer leaves Searchmount, he's gone for, on a really good day, he'll be gone 12, 14 hours, but on breaking trail, he could be gone 16, 18, 20 hours. That's our northern road up to Halfway. We've been fortunate this year. We're looking at, we've got a groomer situated up there, is helping in a bit. He's still got to go up and back. We also have another northern road that goes over to Black Creek, and he's, but sometimes they go up that way, they're gone for a couple of days basically, so it is a challenge for them. The other big challenge is if everything goes good, that's great. If they have a mechanical breakdown, then we got to move guys up there to do something, and there's no road access near any of those places that we're running to. So
basically, our whole trail system, we groom it weekly. There are certain sections, we could groom every day, we can't keep up because of the amount of ridership. And it's like any community that has a lot of ridership in a small area. So on our long runs, we groom it once a week, but it gets a double pass once a week. So we have two groomers meet at a halfway point, and they run back. So it's had a double pass on it at night, so it has a chance to set up. The next day, you have pristine trails. So come up here and enjoy the country, enjoy the scenery. It's a great place to ride.
Hey, is Dave there, please?
Speaking.
Dave, it's Matt Clark with On Snow Magazine.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm all right.
Got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you feel like going snowmobiling in a couple of weeks on an all-expense-paid trip with Polaris and On Snow Magazine?
Hell yeah.
Nice. Well, congratulations, Dave. You were the winner of the Polaris Ride Command contest.
So I was at work on Friday, and I got this phone call from Matt, and so I just I had an inkling, but I wasn't sure. So as soon as he said, "Do you want to go for a ride?" I was like, "Hell yeah, let's go for a ride." You know, I'm new to the sport, and I just wanted to experience all of this. So definitely, that's why I entered, because as soon as I saw that Ride Command contest online, I was like, "That's for me." So I started off snowmobiling last year. A friend of mine, just around the corner from me, he's been snowmobiling his whole life. So, and I've seen him going out at night usually off when he gets home from work. He would take a snowmobile and it'd drive right by my house and off to the trails, and off he went. And I was like staring out my front window, watching him go. And then one day we were talking and he's like, "You should get a snowmobile, Dave." Yeah, actually the winters are not long enough now, right? So really enjoy the sport. Here I am on this trip, and when I get back home, I'm going to be going on another trip, and my wife's not going to like it, but it's okay.
I wound up on this trip as a guest for Dave Morin. Dave Morin won a contest that he had entered with On Snow Magazine and asked if I wanted to get away for 4 days on the sled, and I said absolutely. So here we are. I had a sled when I was young, and for about 35 years, no riding at all. So this trip is really the most riding I've done in 35 years. You know, Halfway Haven, you know, what a place, you can't even describe it. It's just kind of, it's so unique, and yeah, we've been treated really well. Good food, good company, so it's in great weather so far. Best snow conditions so far this season, I guess.
And a couple more days to go.
Absolutely, yeah. It's going to be tough to take.
We're just beginning the second day's ride with the Daves, leaving from here, Halfway Haven. We've got a lot of miles to cover yet and some off-trail riding to do, but let me tell you, without the Halfway Haven, riding in the Algoma region would be a lot tougher.
Halfway Haven's legendary. It was built about 20 years ago in the middle of nowhere. There was a gentleman that used to pack gas into the bush so that customers could make it from Sault Ste. Marie to Wawa, and that's where the idea came from. And it was built as a snowmobile destination, and it basically connects the entire north. So any given day there's hundreds of people at some point in the loop, and we're the gas stop and a sandwich and a friendly face for people to make it to their next link. In the wintertime, it can be a zoo. It's just a very busy place, and you get people from all over and all different kinds of faces. In the spring and summer, we do a lot of ATV riding here, so it's basically the same trail that you bring from the south, from Searchmont to here, and we have a lot of guests that ride up here ATV. Part of our package is if you spend the night, meals are included. So it's logistically getting anything here, getting gas, getting bananas, getting oranges. Logistically, everything's a nightmare. So what I've done is, depending on the night of the week, we have a theme, and I want everybody to feel like they can, like last night's burger. If somebody's hungry, I can hurt you. I just want everybody to feel pleased. So.
And tell me about last night's burger for Dave. He stepped it up, didn't he?
He did. Like he's as big around as my wrist, and I didn't think there was a chance, and he got it.
What was that burger that you gave?
It was just like a pound of bacon and 4 patties and a lot of cheese and a whole bunch of goodness right there.
Tell me a little bit about dinner last night, because you had, I think you were a target of Sean.
I think as soon as you mentioned that I was the contest winner, Sean had it out for me. So I'm never one to back down from a challenge, and I'm not a big guy to say, but happy to say that I destroyed that burger. It was delicious. It's all handmade, and Sean is a fantastic cook.
Our second day riding will take us the rest of the way up the D Trail into Wawa, where we'll base ourselves for a couple of days. Sean made us a solid breakfast to see us off and truly made us feel like family. Welcome back to Halfway Haven anytime. This is one place that'll stick in your memory for the character of the place and the people in it.
From here to Wawa is extremely scenic on the power line. When you start to come into the canyon, by the agua, it's just a beautiful thing. There's rock faces, we've got access to waterfalls. And then for people riding back from Wawa, it looks like a different trail. Like it's just a totally different trail. And then there's endless crown land here. So if you like to get out and get dirty and run hills and get stuck, you can do that too.
Joining us for the rest of our ride is Russ Jones from Top Secret Boondocking. He'll be on the trail with us up to Wawa, but also promised us that he knew of a few good places to jump off the trails and do some boondocking along the way. With near endless stretches of crown land, the terrain here is a paradise in the middle of Canada for this type of adventure riding.
Well, it basically all started with me and a few buddies. We used to ride off trail all the time, and then invited a few more buddies, and they told two friends, and so on and so on, and then it just kind of exploded. Now there's people have heard about it. Basically, the secret is out. People from all far and wide know about it, and it's great because we've got thousands of acres that are untouched, and it's good some people are finally getting to ride them. Some of my best spots I still don't talk about with everyone. You know, it's a level of trust basically, and it's a safety thing too. You don't send a newbie to some of the most violent terrain around, so it's still top secret even to this day. This area where we're at right now is probably our biggest draw. It's a massive area. It's probably 20 square miles. If you go on Google Earth, it's visible from space. It's a massive thing. I've been here, riding here for probably 40 years, and I haven't seen it all yet, so there's a lot to see.
We've come to the end of our ride here in the Algoma region of Ontario and the sweepstakes winner of the Polaris Command Your Ride contest. And I gotta say, it's been a great couple of days here. The snow conditions have been perfect, and the characters and friends we met along the way are second to none.
The Algoma region is a fantastic area to snowmobile in. I mean, although they didn't get the snow that they usually get in previous years, it's still, the conditions are perfect for snowmobiling, apart from being minus 30, but that doesn't deter me. It was amazing.
The Algoma area is fantastic, and the trails are set up so that, I mean, you always have fuel, you'll always have a place to stay, you'll always have a place to eat. Very well marked, very well groomed, yeah, and the conditions were fantastic. Where other parts of Ontario are still struggling, Algoma has tons of snow here, and there's so much to see.
In the last few days, one theme has been developing beyond the snow and the trails, and that's the characters you come across in the snowmobiling world. Fellas like Sean and Russ, who are never at a loss for another story, and even though we met only a couple of days ago, it feels like a friendship that goes back years.
Snowmobiling gets you into that section of people that they all come together, and you get all these different characters from all aspects of life. And Sean from Halfway Haven, just such a great guy, just brought us in, you know, arms wide open. He warms right up to you. Another character, Russ from Top Secret Boondocking. What can I say? He's also so entertaining, so friendly, so open, do anything for you at any time kind of thing. So, you know what, these types of people make you want to keep exploring new places and coming back to the old ones to meet them, because you become friends in the end.
I have a feeling we sold Dave on the new Polaris Assault, and even though it's the end of the trip, I don't think we've seen the end of the Daves.
The first time on a Polaris snowmobile, what can I say? They blew me away. I mean, it's night and day almost to my sled that I have back home, and I might have to go put a deposit down on one when I get back.
So Polaris has the Ride Command app. It's the first time I've used it. I've used similar apps, but the really neat thing about the Ride Command app was that you can create your own group. So if you have a group of friends snowmobiling with, you can create your own private group, and then you can see where everyone is. You know, even when we get back to the hotel room, we can see where someone is within the hotel. But when we're out on the trails, you know if your buddy is safe if you can't see them, because you can still see their sled moving. And the neat thing about it too is that it will track your ride, so that, you know, when you get back home and maybe you don't remember the area very well, but you'll be able to pull up on your app, see where you were, how long your day was, tell stories to your friends. It's a pretty neat thing.
I also believe that we haven't seen the last of the Algoma region in our riding future. Maybe we'll be back this summer to do the same trip through Halfway Haven on side-by-sides and ATVs.